watching the news at 6 p.m. I'm Suesha Samant, and well, it has been 91 days since Sushant Singh Rajput's mysterious death on the 14th of June. Now, Sushant's friend, who spoke to Republic TV, has slammed the slander campaign against the late actor. Denmark-based music entrepreneur Aryan Romal has broken his silence in an exclusive interview to Republic TV. Aryan knew Sushant for several years and met him in India and overseas as well. Aryan has revealed that Sushant had great interest in developing an artificial intelligence app. Let's listen in to what he said.
Many people have spoken out backing Sushant Singh Rajput, and these are friends who knew him over the years. These are people who knew Sushant Singh Rajput, the real Sushant Singh Rajput. Today there is a narrative being built around the RIA PR machinery to paint Sushant Singh Rajput as a drug addict. The kind of stories they've told you about the person that he was, that a drug addict that he was. The lies that they're now trying to spread as they find RIA in a soup in one part of the investigation that's only about the NCB. And today, the story that we want to bring to you is about the other side of Sushant, that they will not tell you, they want it hidden. The brilliant mind that he is, his plans, his grand dreams, 2020, Hollywood, artificial intelligence, apps. There is so much to Sushant that they want it hidden. I have with me Aryan Romal. Aryan Romal is a music entrepreneur. He's based in Denmark. He's of Indian origin, and he knows Sushant for several years now, and he's been meeting him often. He last met him in 2019, is what Aryan told me a few minutes back. I want to come to you, Aryan, straight away. First of all, what do you make of the kind of narrative that they're trying to build around Sushant here in India?
So, hi everyone, hi viewers. I hope you all are safe and far away from COVID-19 at this moment. But let me just clarify one thing first. I specifically asked for a telephonic interview to just make sure that this conversation doesn't end up being used as me trying to get 2 minutes of fame or a face value out of it. Since no one can see my face, I hope they actually listen to what I'm saying. So just to make that clear. So see, I met Sushant throughout the years, and I actually met him only at parties. So we didn't have any other social interaction, only through parties that I met him. And then the picture that I have of Sushant on my mind is way different than what I'm actually seeing. So see, I was one of the lucky person who had a very normal conversation with him beyond entertainment and Bollywood and acting and all of this. So see, he knew me as a musician and / entrepreneur into tech world. So we always had a technological conversation rather than movies and Bollywood and all. So for me, it's like I always enjoyed having conversation with him in those parties when he was speaking more about programming languages, programming codes, the ideas of a future that will be digital. And he was explaining me how he wants to build things and all. And I always asked him honestly, I was like, so what's your ideas? He was like, nah, I'll not tell you. You're a thick world. If I tell you, God knows you're going to steal it and make it the next day. Like, you see, we had a lot of common jokes. We had a lot of different way of speaking with each other. So see, yes, a lot of people can call Sushant antisocial. They can call him, a loner, basically. But let me just tell you guys one thing. Who is not a loner in 2020? And who is not a loner if they want to focus on something that they want to build? So see, I am one of the biggest loner in this world. I don't, interact with people. I'm sitting 90% at home doing my things. I'm taking care of my things. So I would have understand his behavior very easily than a common man who is partying and who's, doing films and all. So when I hear people saying that he had mental health issues, he was depressed, he was bipolar and all of this, I don't see it that way. I just see a guy who was very focused in his own way and his own world, but he want to build something in technology. Now, for anyone else who doesn't know so much about technology, let me tell them that when you work with technology, you're automatically a geek. Like, you need to focus in codes. You need to look at a screen from morning till night. It is a different world. It's not glamorous like Bollywood. So in a Bollywood, there is a camera, there is a light, there is action, there is a makeup artist. So of course you look perfect. Everything looks good. Your social media posts are amazing. But when you work with technology, there are no camera, light, action, makeup. There is no a scene set. There is no a director guiding you. There is one screen that looks so boring. Yes.
Now, I'm sorry to interrupt you there. You spoke about technology, and I know that you're referring to technology and the kind of chats that you had with Sushant Singh Rajput. Now, I pick up from my conversations with you, and you just mentioned that he was working on an app. You mentioned that he was working on an app, on an artificial intelligence-based app, which he felt would help the poor. And he also mentioned about how he was wary that people would steal his idea. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Is that what I picked up from you?
Yes. No, so you see, so last time, the last conversation that I had with him was last year around March. It was I was in India for some work and I met him. So in a party that we met each other and he was like, okay, let's talk about technology again. But he was interesting about that. Like he wasn't interested in drinking. So let me confirm one thing, that every single time that I met him at a party, I never seen him being high, let it be on alcohol or drugs. And that is my personal view of what I've seen with my own eyes. So I've never seen him being high on something while he had a conversation with me. And when I met him as well last time, so he was asking me about the AI. So see, when you talk about AI, and for who doesn't understand what AI is artificial intelligence. It's like if you have an iPhone and when you speak to Siri, that's an AI replying back. So he was trying to build something like that in a mobile application for the poor people of India who could actually use the AI, because a lot of poor people, they can spell, they can write and read and all of these things. So he wanted to do a conversation-based AI app that you could just speak with the mobile application and it will get back to you, so your work, your life, your things would be easy. That was that much that he could actually tell me about it. Because as a fellow entrepreneur, I can tell my ideas to people, but there will be a limit that I don't want to tell because that's my idea. I'm keeping my idea to myself.
Yeah.
I respected that, and I didn't ask him further about what is your deal, what is your design. And he made a joke because I asked him, so how do you want to do it? And he made a joke and he was like, if I tell you, you're going to make it, so I'll keep it for myself, in that way. So he was already, aware about that he's building something great. He was aware about that there is a lot of complication with AI. AI is not a joke. You cannot just wake up from one day and start building an AI application. He knew these things. He already did all his research. Like he was planning to do it. And now see, since I'm working in tech and we are talking about my last conversation was last year around April, March with him, there has been plenty of time to maybe have built something. Maybe I've built a small part of that AI app. Maybe he had some ideas for the work with. And I don't know about what happened because I didn't have a conversation with him after that. Unfortunately, I traveled and I got back after a year back to India. And by that time, like everything has been changed. So I don't know if that app has been made because it's not an easy thing. But I'm sure that he was, very keen on building it. By the way, he was asking me questions about how you're doing this, how we should do this, how is the real way of building a server, a database. So see, I'm saying these things, and I feel bad just by explaining it to you that when I talk about Sushant, the way he was interacting with me, on my mind, in the back of my mind, there is a voice that's saying that people are calling him, have mental health issues, and he was not normal, and he was this and that. And then I'm just thinking in my mind that if people call Sushant, bipolar or he has some mental health issues, then they definitely should say the same thing about me. Because if when I see videos of Sushant on the internet, trust me, I behave the same way. I don't like to have a conversation. I'm in my own zone. I'm doing my things as well. But no one around me and no one in the world have ever considered me being, depressed or bipolar or have some issues or need medication all of this XYZ.
Yes.
Because if people call Sushant, they better also start calling me a bipolar as well then.